Hello and welcome back to a podcast where I talk about going from corporate drone to corporate dropout. You know it, you love it. Welcome back to Chaos and Fuckery. And in a previous episode, I said I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I had recorded an episode before I moved all of these podcasts to its own little bubble of the world. And I didn't get to gain enough steam, obviously, because I was doing so many things at the same time. So I figured I would rehash this episode a little bit because even since I recorded that a month ago, my mind has kind of changed on some of these things. We're going to talk about scholarships, partnerships, and affiliate marketing and that whole world today when it comes to business success and business ventures, right? As a content creator, your mindset around those things has to be significantly different than your mindset when it comes to being a business owner. And that is something I have found very interesting and very hard to kind of grapple with. Because as a content creator, sponsorships and affiliate marketing and all of those things are a great thing to do, right? For instance, I was interested in a company when I went to MegaCon. Their name is Advanced, and I love them dearly. I have one of their products right here that I just ordered. This is their new Advanced Sour Black Cherry Focus. I have not tried that yet. It just got in the mail yesterday. But I tried their Focus line, their hydration line, and their energy line while I was at MegaCon, and I talked to a lot of their representatives while I was at MegaCon because supplement companies and the fitness space go hand in hand together. The two biggest affiliateships or sponsorships that you're gonna see a fitness influencer have are activewear and supplements. There's really not much else you see fitness influencers sponsored by, except for nowadays if you're looking at like a bodybuilder influencer, you also add in meal prep companies. And not all meal prep companies are created equal, but also I think you have to walk a fine line when you are acting as an influencer as well as a coach. Because the thing is while yes, supplements like this might help my ADHD symptoms and help me actually get shit done as a business owner, I want to ensure that whatever company I am supporting and putting out there is one that I would want my clients to use and one that I fully support. So for instance, when it comes to meal prep companies, I, as a content creator, did this. I tried all of these meal prep company type video and it did really well, but also I did it completely out of my own dime. There was no sponsorship, there was no affiliate code, there was none of that involved in that video. And that is how I ethically would do videos like that. And how I ethically, work with a supplement company is this particular company that I am working with, full disclosure, I work with them now after meeting them at MegaCon, is completely open label. I don't know if you can see, you really can't see a lot of that. It's super, super tiny. Their jars are super tiny too, which I think is kind of like a waste reduction tactic in their manufacturing, which I kind of love. They didn't say that to me, but I do love that. But they're open label. You can see everything and the dosage of everything in all of their supplements. There's no proprietary blends. So for me as a fitness coach, that is a huge thing. Not only can my clients, see everything in it and go talk to their doctor and be like, hey, does this have any interactions with anything I'm on? But they also know the dosage. So for instance, I have their sleep formula as well, and it has a much higher magnesium dosage than previous sleep formulas that I had worked with, and I think that's why it works so well for me. Either that or it's the dosage of the ashwagandha, but point being is I can see the differences between those two labels at a dosage label and decide what exactly it is that is working for me and maybe work on actually supplementing that in a way because I might be low or going to get my levels tested. It informs decisions better with open label than any of those proprietary blends do. But I came into the game with this company as an influencer, but also so I had the ability to give discounts to my clients. With meal service kits, because of the video I did, if I were to sign on with one as a fitness influencer type, it wouldn't be any of the widely known because I tried them and I don't put my money behind them. I do order a meal service kit every week, and it is a local one. It is one that is local to my home here, and I would gladly take a sponsorship from them, but it would really only help if I was partnering with them for, say, my brick and mortar businesses that I plan on having in the future. They don't ship nationwide, and so having an affiliate partnership with them doesn't really make a ton of sense unless I'm just giving it away to people around my local community versus my online space as a creator. When it comes to the different mindsets, though, it took me a really long time in business to wrap my head around what is morally and ethically gray, if you will, in my opinion, when it comes to taking sponsorships in the fitness space. I don't truly believe that coaches should be peddling products. Not because we don't use them, and it's okay to say, hey, I love these products, but if you are going to build your entire business around selling products and essentially telling people to go buy this shit, you shouldn't also be selling your services as a coach, because every good coach knows that they can get people to where they need to go without any of this shit. And they should be able to. These are just convenience items. They are not necessary to see success in the health and fitness space. And it's also not necessary that your goals have to be weight loss either, which is what a lot of these supplements are focused on. But when it comes to, multiple streams of income in your business, what companies you sign on to also says a lot about you morally, I think. So there is something you have to be careful with when it comes to the companies you support and where you put your dime when you become influencer status, which is why I struggled with the content creator aspect, right? Because if I was purely a content creator, I would live or die by sponsorships and, ad revenue and everything being ad readable, if you will. I would live and die by those things. And for instance, the name of this podcast is not ad friendly. I would have to change the name of it, and I eventually probably will in the future. I'll rebrand it, but I love chaos and fuckery. And that's because it's me. It is me in a nutshell. I curse a lot, and that's finding sponsorships that would be okay with me being who I am is important to me in the future for something like this podcast. And this is also kind of why I changed my business strategy almost entirely in the last month when it comes to splitting all of my different channels. This podcast definitely could take a different level of sponsorships than, say, my fitness channel. I am going to be extremely choosy in business when it comes to sponsorships and ad reads with my fitness channel, because I don't want that audience to purchase things that I wouldn't put my money behind. Not that they can't purchase, they can purchase whatever they want, but I would not promote something, say, one of the popular YouTube sponsorships. While this company was not bad when I tested them, it's not someone I would repeatedly put my money behind. One of the popular is Factor, right? I've seen several gamers and even newer-ish channels, right, under 100,000 subscribers when it comes to the gaming world, specifically the Nintendo gaming world, just recently was sponsored by Factor. And so they are going after gamers pretty strategically, which is also my audience as a fitness coach. I coach gamers. So in theory, it would be a perfect partnership. But if I was approached by Factor, I wouldn't do it. Why? Because I don't support them as a company, as a fitness coach. Their meals tasted fine, but their balances on macros and the fact that they seem to be extremely carb conscious in the sense that a large majority of their meals replaced things like potatoes with cauliflower was not okay to me as a coach, because I don't support the complete removal of entire subgroups of food as a coach. However, as a gamer, I have less issues with it. Obviously, I will be using my affiliate on my gaming channel, and I think it's a great way for gamers to try and get healthy if they enjoy those foods. And if I didn't have the local option, I think it is more affordable than the other options I tried as a part of my fitness video. For convenience, Factor is great. Their food was great, but there's just a little bit of a different line as a coach. I still probably wouldn't take a sponsorship on my gaming channel for that, but I feel more apt to take certain sponsorships on my gaming channel versus on my fitness channel just purely because of the connection. So again, that goes back to the thing that I've grappled with as a business owner. And let me know if you guys have ever struggled with this, if you have a business component to your content creation journey, right? I know a lot of people who do things like reviews, but also own their own product. And it seems a little bit counterintuitive to review your competitors because you're obviously going to say my product is better, right? I don't have any physical products, so me reviewing products as a fitness coach is completely normal until I start selling physical products. Like if I worked with this company to create my own flavor or something, then I wouldn't really need to do, protein reviews and things like that if I was selling a protein, because that would just be counterintuitive. I would obviously say my product is better. It's, Disney versus Universal. The two products are completely different, but someone will still argue one is better than the other. And as a business owner, I really struggled with the different types of things, right? Getting a sponsorship from a company doesn't necessarily mean that you're in bed with that company. It just means, hey, they paid you to do an ad read. Versus with partnerships, those are important to the business side, right? Partnering with local small business to bring up both of our communities, if you will, to be able to utilize their community and vice versa. It's the same thing as a creator when you go out and get on podcasts. You utilize their community because you have some common connection between the two, whether it be, in my instance, a gaming community or a fitness community that might have some gamers in it, that kind of thing. You can utilize those different companies to be able to grow your audience and give them a bang for their buck. It's, again, why working with supplement companies is so, in the fitness space, because if I say I met Advanced at MegaCon, I keep showing them because this is my most recent example, but I met Advanced at MegaCon. I didn't really know who they were before that. There were a couple other gamer specific supplement companies like Gamer Sups, and there might have been someone else there, but I know Gamer Sups was there, that were competing against them. But I talked to them and their flavors not only were the best, in my opinion, of the ones that I tried, however, they also had a good company stance, and that's why I chose to sign with them as an affiliate. However, their partners, if I become a good affiliate and I sell the products and things like that, their partners also are allowed to do things like create their own products, influence what products get sold in the future, and things like that. So getting involved with them means I could do something like partner with them to do a scholarship giveaway at MegaCon next year and work their booth as an affiliate so that I share their signups with me as the coach. I can do a giveaway with them throughout the weekend, which would be super cool. I haven't pitched that idea yet, but it's why I wanted to start working with that type of company, so that it's more of a partnership for my fitness coaching and less of an affiliate thing for my streaming and gaming. While I will use it across the board, it's not always one stream of income for one particular business strategy. It is a partnership and an affiliate thing at the same time, or I plan on working a partnership with them in the future, hopefully. Whereas my meal service company, if I planned on working a partnership with them, would be purely for a different business entity where I can bring their meals and sell their meals at my dance studio for parents and kids who need meals after class or just forgot to bring dinner with them or whatever it is, that are healthy options for the kids and not going to fast food after dinner like I did when I was a dancer or after dance class, not after dinner. So I had to wrap my head around the different versions of these different things, because the other thing is when it comes to selling products in the affiliate marketing world, it started to feel very borderline MLM-y to me, because how a lot of, recruiters in the MLM world tell their downline, you're just sharing a product you love. And yes, that is truly the line of affiliate marketing, but then it all started to get blurred. And it was very hard for me to wrap my head around, is it ethical for a personal trainer and nutrition coach to share products that they use? And I think there is a very clear line with that when it comes to the sponsorship world and personal trainers and nutrition coaches. And that is, I use it for me, not to gain my body. Because once you start getting into the realm of saying these supplements guarantee you something like a flat stomach or de-bloating or, lessened symptoms of X, Y, and Z medical diagnosis, that's where we run into issues. That's where it no longer is ethical, because you're selling people the supplement for the work that you're supposed to be doing with them as a trainer. You are selling them the supplement as a pipe dream rather than reality of, hey, I just use it because I like the taste of it, or I struggle to get my meals in, so I use this protein supplement as an extra boost to make sure I hit my protein goal. You don't need it, and I think that's the clear line with supplement selling is, hey, you don't need it, but it can help. And I have a laundry list of companies that I won't work with, and I have a laundry list of companies that I will work with, and that laundry list might change over time, right? I have worked with a few different supplement companies over time, and I have left them to join others because of things that they changed in their marketing, what products they came out with, if the quality of the products had changed, things like that. For instance, I was with a pretty popular large one as an affiliate for a long time, and when I signed with them, they sold fat burners, which I always thought was gross and scammy, but a large majority of their products I did use, and I was only going to promote those products that I did use. And then as time went on, they slowly started to push their fat burners more and tell their affiliates to push those fat burners more, saying they reformulated it and it now works, even though they had previously called fat burners scammy, even though they still also sold the product. It didn't make any sense to me, and that was the point at which I chose to leave them, because fat burners are probably my number one. I would never, especially because I got scammed by them, right? I thought they worked, and then I did research of my own and things like that. So now if a company that I'm working with sells them or starts selling them, I will be out the door in a heartbeat. And I think from my own personal perspective, when it comes to doing sponsorships and things ethically, you have to know what companies you're getting into bed with. There was a huge sponsorship debacle with things like BetterHelp and Scentbird and other things with the YouTube sphere that were very popular companies to work with. And I feel like there's even been some stuff with Factor and their parent company, which is not Green Chef. It is one of the cook meal kit delivery services that I can't think of the name of at the moment. There has been a little bit of drama with them as well. Specifically the parent company, not necessarily Factor, which is why I think a lot of the Factor sponsorships get away without the hate, is people don't realize they're owned by the same company. But there's also been, there was a lot of drama with a popular supplement brand that was running on TikTok called EchoVision, people leaving that. And you never fully know a company when you start a sponsorship or start an ad campaign with those companies. You can do as much research as you can, but until you're actually in the door working with the companies on building new products yourself and doing that level of partnership, you're never going to know the intimate detail of the inner workings of that company. You're just going to be on the other side with some marketing manager being told what to do as a creator or as a business owner. But the least you can do as a business owner, in my opinion, is look up the bare minimum research and make sure that the companies you are working with are, in fact, decent and good ones. And I don't feel that everybody does that, because there are people still to this day that take BetterHelp scholarships or sponsorships, and there are still people who will sell their souls for products that they don't use, and I am not willing to do that as a business owner. That is a line I draw in the sand, and as a personal trainer and nutrition coach, I struggle a lot with the idea of selling fitness related products, whether it be activewear or supplements, not only because of overconsumption culture, right? Supplements you're at least using every 30 days or whatever, and you'll just re-up it. You don't necessarily have to buy tons of it all the time when the first piece of it is still working, right? Unless you buy a ton of flavors, but at that point, that's your own choice if you buy a ton of flavors. However, when it comes to activewear, you don't constantly need new activewear. So activewear is one of those things that I don't feel like is a lucrative affiliate ad campaign type thing, just because you're contributing to overconsumption culture when it comes to that. And I think we're entering an era where overconsumption is going to kind of be cringe, just purely due to the fact that financially the state of the world is crazy right now. So constantly being sold new things via TikTok shop or whatever it is kind of crazy. And again, that's probably why I, as a business owner, will be super choosy. But I am very curious to know, from a content creator gone business, or business using content to promote your platform, whatever it is, what is your stance as a business owner? Because I've had one for a very long time and it's been somewhat changed throughout time. At one point, I said once I got my certifications, I would never promote a supplement company. But at the end of the day, there's so much trash out there. I would rather prop up a good one than have people question all of these other weird companies. So I kind of changed my stance on that a little bit. And I think separating out my different businesses also helped me take that stance of, as a coach, I might not take this as a sponsorship because I don't feel it's necessary. But as a gamer, yeah, cool. If you want to look at these products, go for it. That way, things change and are a little bit more fluid. But it's not because I'm changing my moral, ethical thought on that company. The company is still the company. I wouldn't take a sponsorship from a company I don't believe in. However, I am just a lot more choosy with the fitness side, just because you don't need it. I would rather train you and give you a scholarship or affiliate marketing thing with my training, right? I would love to start a somewhat affiliate program with my training where I have people who are influencer types that, get kickback on their training for commissions, right? Or for new clients. I'd love to do something like that. I don't know how I would implement that as a coach, to be honest, but I would love to, a large majority of my business be coming through word of mouth. And maybe I figure that out in the future as I start working with other streamers and things like that. But that's kind of just my 2 cents on sponsorships and ad nonsense. And I'm sure I'm shooting myself in the foot by creating this episode and saying that there are certain companies I would never work with in the future. I'm sure that will bite me in the ass. But if I am going to have a shot at doing the fitness space ethically and as morally righteous as I can, I need to have a stance on some of these things. And my stance currently is there are certain types of companies in the fitness space that I would never support. One of which being, activewear companies that don't have size inclusive activewear. Not because the companies that don't have size inclusive don't have a right to do that. I just don't want to support something like that, because unless it's obviously like athletic wear for a specific sport is a whole different thing entirely, but just general active wear or leisure, athleisure type wear, if you're not size inclusive as a company, then you're basically saying we want you to lose weight, but we don't want you in our spaces, which makes no fucking sense. So yes, companies have everything that they have the right to do everything they want to do. And if you want to support it as a consumer as a part of that, that's on you. Bodybuilders have a right to have companies that are specifically owned by them, whatever. I don't care. As a consumer, I don't care. But as a consumer, I'm also not going to put my money behind them. So if as a consumer, I'm not doing that, as a business owner, I'm not taking a partnership with them either. That's where I stand on that. So that being said, that was a lot of chaos. That was a lot of me rambling. And the thing is I am very curious what other business owners out there have done when it comes to now being in the online space and content creation, right? Partnerships with brick and mortar businesses, obviously, coalitions and partnering with other companies. Maybe I sell this thing at my brick and mortar doctor's office. That these things happen, right? At my chiropractor, they sell LMNT, which is an electrolyte packet thing. Those types of things happen. You have to have an agreement that you're allowed to sell those things. So if you're a brick and mortar business owner, what partnerships with what companies Did you have some go south? Tell me your stories with that. If you were an online creator kind of navigating, I have a product to sell, but also, maybe I want to partner with an influencer or using influencer ad campaigns or whatever it is, tell me your stories with those. Are they worth it? Are there specific companies you as a content creator wouldn't work with as like ad revenue? I'm curious to know, right? Is it bad to mix content creation, like being a creator where you take scholarships and things like that, and being a business owner where typically you wouldn't? I don't know. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And for today, that is it. I appreciate y'all for being here, and that was a lot of chaos, and I hope you enjoy the fuckery in the future.